Talamoana, friend. Talamoana, friend. May reason preserve us. May reason preserve us. My knowledge is your knowledge. My knowledge is your knowledge. It's so good to have someone to talk to. It's so good to have someone to talk to. Remember, life is precious. Remember, life is precious. Fortune favor you. Fortune favor you. Let's speak again soon. Let's speak again soon. Go with care, friend. Go with care, friend. Please, do not be alarmed. I am neither monster nor murderer, though that is the duality of existence that defines San these days. My name is Siosa, and I have the bleak honor of being the sole scholar to the imperious intellection, this grand repository of knowledge you see about you. May reason preserve us. Akarui, by the ancestors, it has been so long since I saw my own kind in the flesh. My name is Siosa, and I have the bleak honor of being the sole scholar to the imperious intellection, this grand repository of knowledge you see about you. May reason preserve us. In more mundane circumstances, it would be preposterous to ask this of you, an utter stranger, but given that I don't know in which century I might see another pair of flesh and bone hands, There's a door, you see, concealed behind the shelves. It leads into the archives. That's where Isius Perandus concealed his golden pages. Can you see how maddening that would be for me? No, of course you can't. Ridiculous of me to... Suffice to say that they are beyond my reach. 4 Varlish texts they are, of priceless historical insight. Please, find my friend's golden pages and bring them to me. You will be rewarded. I vow it before the ancestors. In more mundane circumstances, it would be preposterous to ask this of you, an utter stranger, but given that I don't know in which century I might see another pair of flesh and bone hands, in the archives, maddeningly beyond my reach, Isius Perandus concealed the golden pages. What's that? You've found one already? Oh, you can't imagine what this means to me. Please, let me see it. In more mundane circumstances, it would be preposterous to ask this of you, an utter stranger, but given that I don't know in which century I might see another pair of living hands, in archives, maddeningly beyond my reach, Isius Perandus concealed the golden pages. What's that? You found some already? You can't possibly imagine what this means to me. Please, let me see them. In more mundane circumstances, it would be preposterous to ask this of you, an utter stranger, but given that I don't know in which century I might see another pair of flesh and bone hands, in the archives, maddeningly beyond my reach, Isius Perandus concealed the golden pages. What's that? You've found them already? Oh, you can't possibly imagine what this means to me. Please, let me see them. By the ancestors. It's good to see fresh words in front of me. Now, my translation skills are not what Isius were. I can achieve a meager paraphrase at best. But a little knowledge is better than none, is it not? Let us begin. You are quite the resolute librarian, aren't you? Yeah, I'm impressed, particularly as this isn't the peaceful refuge of erudition it once was. Now, let's see what our Valish historian has in store for us this time. So many lives have flared and gone out since this Valish tome was sundered. Countless more since it was written. A moment, please, while we bask in the historical enormity of this happenstance. There. Now, to listen to the whispers of the ancient dead. My word. Valish contextualized syntax is a slippery eel indeed. Let me see if I can grab it by the gills. They carried their virtue gems to Doriani's bed. No, that's not quite right. Ah, yes, Doriani's cradle. The historian finishes that it was a price they needed to pay to ensure a Valish future. A cradle of virtue gems? What sort of Valish future did Doriani hope to ensure? Splendid. Let's see what this page has to offer us. It talks of Queen Atsiri. Now, here's a portentous line. She drenches her altars with the blood of those deranged enough to question her vision. The next piece is a real eye-crosser, but I believe it refers to a communion. Something to do with the harvest moon? Again, Doriani seems at the heart of it. Good. This line I can read without issue. This will be our final night of fear, our final night of suffering. Sacrifice, communion, the harvest moon. An unsettling combination. Oh my. This first line is frighteningly clear. Our queen is dead. Doriani is dead. So many have fallen, so many have changed. The latter text is almost indecipherable. It practically hums with agitation. Let me see. I can make out the words sleep, nightmare, and the beast. Whatever that may be. Our historian finishes with, we have succeeded where our forebears did not. We have failed ourselves. I need not imagine the fall of the Val. I saw the nightmare with my own eyes. Strange. I was put in charge of dating the most antiquated of texts. This parchment, it's a remarkable copy, but it's no original. Much younger. Oh my. Listen to this. My dearest Isius, I have been enlightened beyond expectation. Your work in translating these artifacts is worthy of the highest recompense, and thus I am delighted to offer you a position in my personal laboratory. Please do not give your escorts any consternation. I would be most pained to see such a precious asset damaged in any way. I very much look forward to working with you. Isius Perandus. your friend and admirer, Malachi. Poor Isius. Wherever you went, my pity goes with you. This tapestry of truth is a threadbare cloth indeed, but at least you have allowed me to begin the first few stitches in its restoration, and to settle the memory of a dear friend. In return, allow me to do you this service. Should you find any items that baffle you as to their powers and purpose, bring them to me for interpretation. It's the very least I can do. This tapestry of truth is a threadbare cloth indeed, but at least you have allowed me to begin the first few stitches in its restoration, and to settle the memory of a dear friend. In return, allow me to give you this, a little practical wisdom to improve your lot. It was a Karwi Motiata that discarded my failing body of flesh in favor of canvas and oil, an ancient song and a momentary lapse in judgment that I've had more than enough time to regret. I suppose every civilization has its Doriani, its Malachi, men of divine talent and demented ambition. Without them, history would be a far less interesting place. How Malachi survived the Purity Rebellion, I don't know. He was at Emperor Vol's side before Chitis' corpse was even cold. I suppose Vol found him as difficult to refuse as Isius did. Malachi would never have risen so far without the patronage of an emperor like Chitis. It would appear that Doriani and Queen Atsiri shared a similar relationship. It was said of the beautiful Atsiri that she wished to see her likeness reflected in the still waters of history. Chitis was no less self-impressed. Of all the sins, vanity is the most hideous. Sane fell in the course of an hour, no more. A tempest raged down from the mountains and engulfed the city, throwing it into midday darkness. I saw madness in my colleagues' eyes, watched as the most rational men in the Empire jabbered and slavered and slaughtered each other. I witnessed Trinian, our gemling intellectus prime, engulfed by the radiance of his flaming cranial gem, and wither like a grape in the sun into a thing of desiccation and famishment. I've seen mountains spew fire in Ngamakanui. I've seen waves as tall as trees and winds that leveled warriors and walls alike. Nature is what nature is. There was nothing natural about the cataclysm. The imperious intellection was fashioned in the likeness of the human brain. This half, the library, is the storehouse of theory. Concepts from thousands of minds, Val, Asmeri, and Eternal, delicately inscribed in letter and figure. This is the hemisphere of the page. The archives are the hemisphere of the artifact. It is the Karwi way to observe nature in nature. The fish without the sea is no longer a fish. It is dinner. The Eternals did not see it that way. An Eternal catches the fish, guts the fish, preserves the fish, and places it in a box. Only then does the Eternal feel he truly understands the fish.